there's two wolves, and you could feed the bad wolf and let that wolf win, or you could feed the good wolf. And so we're every day, like anytime I'm in a sad moment, she's like, just feed the good wolf. Like, just feed it and let this win and let this take over and feel what you need to feel, but don't let it win.
Step right up, folks. You're now entering It's a Circus, where parenting isn't always a show-stopping act, but it's certainly entertaining. I'm your host, Elsa, here to prove that no one really knows what they're doing, and that's perfectly fine. Let's have some real conversations, peel back the layers, and remind you that you're never alone in the madness. Let's get the show rolling. Wow, what an honor it is to have the next guest on. Her name is Sarah. We do talk about pregnancy loss, and we go into detail. So this can be a triggering episode, and specifically around minute 22 to minute 27, it gets graphic. So if that is something that you're sensitive to, please feel free to zoom past it. However, I do think the details are important, and this is Sarah's moment to share, and I wanted to give her the opportunity to share as much detail as possible because it is such a privilege that she is even using language to attach to the trauma that she has gone through. And although this is a heartbreaking episode, there are some beautiful pieces that can give some inspiration, specifically that her and her wife founded In the Nick of Time, which is a nonprofit that delivers meals to families grieving the loss of child through miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant loss. So she is a very strong woman and has a very wonderful message to share and a beautiful story, and I could not be more honored that she chose to share that here on the podcast. So let me get into her bio. Sarah is a proud wife to Natalie, a loving mommy to Nino, an angel mommy to Nikki. Sarah is a VPK teacher at Smarty Pants Preschool, where she has the joy of working alongside her wife and sister-in-laws. Together, Sarah and Natalie founded In the Nick of Time, a nonprofit that delivers meals to families grieving the loss of a child through miscarriage, stillbirth, or infant loss. Guided by faith and compassion, she believes her purpose is to serve others and bring light and comfort to her community, which she absolutely does. And sharing in the reality of the challenges and the story and having this gift of the Nick in Time is just a small glimpse of her bright, shiny light. Let's get into the episode. Sarah, welcome to It's a Circus Podcast. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, of course. And we were just talking before we hit record that Sarah and I live in the same neighborhood and we have never met. It's unacceptable.
It's my fault, I swear.
No, I'm sure it's mine. But whatever the case, I'm glad we're here today. Okay, so Sarah, I start this off by asking my question is, who are you a mom of? How long have you been a mom for? And have you always wanted to be a mother?
So I am the mommy to Nino. He is my son. He turned 2 in May. And I'm an angel mommy too, to little Nikki. And I wanted to be a mom the second I fell in love with my wife.
Oh.
Before then, it wasn't really on my mind, but she makes me want a million kids.
Oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful feeling. Okay, so yeah, can you talk about that? So let's just go into it. What made you want to have kiddos and start that journey together?
So when I met my wife, she is like your typical Italian family, big, loud Sundays or sauce. Like that is who she is. And I love it. Like I love like a loud house. And for the longest time, like we were kind of like in the closet, I guess, and not very like out there. And we weren't ever sure like if we ever would be able to. And then one day we were like, well, we're going to get married. And we still were like unsure of things. And the second like everybody was kind of so accepting to it, we were like, oh, it's not like this awful, horrendous thing. So we like kind of talked. I have health issues. So it was definitely like a long process, and fertility treatments in general are a pain. I'm sure you've had a ton of people on here talking about that. So it was definitely a whole long ordeal, but we knew we love kids. Like that's what we do for a living. And our nieces and nephews are like, we were like the coolest aunts in the world. And we were like, well, I think we could do this. So
Yeah. You're like, let's have our next like
yeah,
mamas.
let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah. Our next label. Well, I do want to talk a little bit about the fertility process because I do
Mhm.
think that I have had some people on here that have shared a few things, but I think your journey is a little bit unique. So if you
Yeah.
want to go for it, I would
Yeah.
love, the more detail, the better. So starting
Yeah.
from the beginning, how you guys shopped for clinics, like if you got recommendations, like all of that would be just awesome to dive into.
Yeah. So we went, I don't know if you want like names, but we went into Sarasota and we did what we were going originally for is called reciprocal IVF.
Hmm.
And that's basically like for same-sex couples. I wanted to take Natalie's eggs and I wanted to carry.
Okay.
So it's like, it was just like a cool way. We were like, oh, this is perfect. Natalie is older than me. So
Okay.
we went
I
with
see.
her eggs first anyways. And they literally like nicknamed her Purdue because she was like so fertile. And they're like, oh my gosh,
Wow.
don't just pick out one name, pick out as literally 17 we were there. And then we went down to 11 embryos and we were like, oh, we have to sell our condo. We need to buy a bigger house. Like this is like
Hmm.
going rapidly,
Hmm.
And then none of them were good. And it was
Whoa.
heartbreaking. Yeah. And like fun fact about Natalie and I both, when we love, we love. So like just
Hmm.
to even get like little updates, we were like, oh my God, they're doing so good. Like so excited. So that was kind of like a heartbreak and we were like disappointed. And it was like right in the middle of COVID. So it was like just already like a crazy time.
Right.
We took a little bit of a break because who one financially and two like the heartbreak is just like sad. And
Yeah.
she was like, why don't we just try like a quick IUI for you? And I was like, okay, like let's see. And first IUI took, and that's our
No
Nino.
way. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. Our little angel baby.
Uh, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I love it. Um, wow. I mean, what a thing. I think what is so interesting about when you go that route is there's so many moments where it could fall apart or could
Mhm.
move on. So I can't even imagine the emotional like roller coaster for that,
Mhm.
especially feeling if you're on like such a high with, all the embryos that you got, which
I
is 11
know.
is
Well,
huge.
they were like guaranteeing us. And I think that's like the thing that
Wow.
we've learned is like you don't always have to believe everything a doctor says because
Mm.
I mean, we literally, she was like trying to write 11 names and I was like, you're crazy. I'm not doing this 11 times, you
Right.
know? And then it just slowly dwindled. And then we got a call and I was like, oh my gosh, like how did we go from Purdue to nothing, So it was definitely hard, but everything happens for a reason. We're very big
Mhm.
believers in that. And like God's plan is definitely his plan, So we got Nino out of it. So sometimes people's journeys are just a little bit longer.
Totally.
Yeah.
So tell me about being pregnant. How was it for you?
So with Nino, it was the best thing ever.
Wow.
I have a condition called Ehlers-Danlos, and I've had like 4 shoulder surgeries, hip surgeries,
Oh my
ankles.
gosh.
Yeah, so it's like a connective tissue, and I had to get like approved in order to get pregnant. Like they were like kind of like, oh, we don't know how you'll do.
Mhm.
He literally took every pain and ache I ever had away. It was like like I don't know what happened, but it was the best. I was like late. I was happy to be late past the 40-week mark, like obsessed in love. And I was like, I just want to be a kangaroo and be able to put him back in there. It was so nice. And then delivery, he was great. Everything about it was great the first time. So
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Okay, I love that because I think sometimes one, it's just a beautiful example that pregnancy can be a wonderful, great experience. I don't know if you've heard this, but
yes.
that when oftentimes when you carry a child, the way your body changes sometimes can heal you. So for me, actually, I had really
Yeah.
bad oh God, what are they called now? Like fibroids that were painful for me.
Okay.
And in my first pregnancy, they were gone. It like whatever
Isn't it
was happening.
crazy?
It's wild, dude. Whatever was like happening in, that area of my body, being pregnant, carrying full term, giving birth, all of that, and like your hormones go crazy, literally healed
Crazy.
my fibroids.
Your
Like I
hormones
literally don't
go
have any.
crazy.
Yeah, they go insane, and whatever happens, is so cool. So I love that you also had that experience where
Yeah.
you felt really good.
It was amazing. And that's why I was so excited. I literally gave birth to him and they like put him on me for the golden hour. I looked at Natalie and I was like, oh, I want to go back like immediately. It's been seconds. I already miss being pregnant. That was probably like the hormones talking too, but we did go back pretty soon after. Like I was like ready, and it was
Yeah.
so different the second time, like worlds. I mean, obviously there was something not right, but worlds different. So every pregnancy, everybody tells me is different regardless. Like my sister-in-law was pregnant at the same time as I was with Nino. And she, I mean, was sick the whole time. She had to wear like a heart monitor because the baby was like making her crazy. And every time she was like, it's not fair that you're having the best pregnancy.
I know.
So
I know. I had somebody tell me, I was like really pregnant with my second one. And I was like, really just, I mean, fine. But sometimes those like last couple of weeks they can be pretty taxing.
yeah.
And she was like, don't you just feel like a spotlight is on you and the whole world is just supporting you in this journey? And I was like, oh, what?
Actually, no.
That was not my experience. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I don't feel that at all, but God bless you for that.
1000%. And I still actually tease her about it too, because I was like, oh my gosh, very special for you. Okay, so you get Nino and you guys have this moment of like, we want a gajillion million, like, let's do it
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So talk to me first about
My wife
postpartum.
would have me pregnant every year if she could.
Stop it. Oh my gosh, I love this.
With Nino, it was great. I mean, aside from like the just like the sadness of him getting big, I really did okay postpartum. There was definitely like I don't know if you breastfed,
A little bit.
that made my hormones crazy. Oh
Okay.
man, that made me nuts. I don't know what it was about it, but if he like didn't latch, I was like convinced that we had to disconnect. Like it was like that was the only time that I ever saw anything postpartum wise.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I think it's just I was in such like bliss and obsessed, and I would just like lay there and watch him all night. It was just everything I ever wanted in one little tiny package.
Oh my God, so cute. So when did you guys decide like you were ready for number two, and how did that go?
Have always been have them back to back, close
Okay.
together. I'm pro that. I know a lot of people are like, no, older one, older, but I wanted them like right away. So Nino turned 1 and it was definitely like a conversation and I was ready. And we did one IUI and that one didn't work. And then we did the second one and that one stuck right away. And so we found out on Christmas that I was pregnant. And it was, I'm very grateful for that. That's why we named him Nicholas.
Oh, that's so sweet. Okay.
So
Okay, and
Nikki
then
was a complete pregnancy though, completely different. Whew, it was rough.
so how was it rough? How were you feeling?
With Nino, first trimester, I was exhausted.
Mhm.
Like I felt like I always like used to joke somebody like darted me in my neck and I could sleep at any, and that's not like me at all.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
Nikki, it was like painful sleep. Like I could never get comfortable. And
Mhm.
everybody would tell me, like, well, you have a toddler now.
Mhm.
So like just be aware, like you're not going to be able to nap. So I was like, okay, okay. But I mean, the whole time I said, I don't know, I just don't feel good. I just don't
Mhm.
feel good. Never like nauseous or anything like that, but just like I used to like force myself with Nino, like I need to eat X amount of berries a day and egg and have like this perfect thing. Like I couldn't
Mhm.
stomach anything, like it was just completely a just different pregnancy. And when we went, he was sizing great, he was doing great. And then around like 10 weeks, I want to say, I started spotting and
Mm.
I ran to the OB. Like right, and this I had to switch OBs, and She was like, he's good. He's in there. I don't really see much. You're fine. And then the next day it was like crazy amount of bleeding. So I go back again and they're like, he's still in there. Like, no answers, nothing. So I was like, I've never heard of people not having answers. Yeah.
Right.
Nothing.
And no, like, here's some
And then
supplements. Here's like something.
No, nothing. And I was told, and like, it's like something that like constantly replays. Well, as of right now, he has a heartbeat still, so be happy. And I was like, that's just like not enough for me to know, like, and why do you keep saying still, like that's uneasy too. So I went for like weekly checkups and they finally found a subchorionic hematoma. And it was just, she explained it to me as like, just like a little pocket of blood and you're probably going to bleed on and off, no exercise, nothing like that. So I was like, okay. And then it stopped and I was super, super happy. So like I was bleeding for like 5 weeks and it stopped and I was like, finally, and then one day I was like 16 and a half weeks and my whole family came over and because they wanted to say happy birthday before my actual birthday. And I started like really cramping and I was like, ooh. And then I started like bleeding and I was like, okay, I'm just going to go because I have an uneasy feeling in my stomach. I go, I have the best video ever of him. I saw his personality. I was like, ooh.
Oh my goodness. It's okay.
Super, super cute. And then he's 100% fine. Look at him. He's sizing big. His heart is strong. I have her on video saying, look at how strong his heart is. I'm like, yeah. And then 2 days later, my wife planned like a beautiful birthday for me. And we're on the beach. And I was like, oh no, I just got like a lot of blood. So like I go into like this restaurant and I'm like, oh, this isn't blood. This is weird. It's like, it's water. And the whole time leading up to this, I'm told he's fine. Just relax. You need to stop. You don't have to come every day. Okay. So I don't go. And this is on my birthday. 100% my water broke. And then so I call their on-call nurse and I'm like, listen, I'm not going to go right now, but tomorrow morning I want to be seen first thing. And she was like, okay, no problem. Be here at 8. So I'm there. And my son always comes with us because we do everything together. So for some reason, I don't know why, because we never really like give him like headphones or like a tablet or anything. But I was like, oh, maybe like they can give me some more answers this time around. Bring my headphones for him. And thank God I did. Because that's when they saw the sack was from Monday, like he was in like a big sack full of water, jumping all around, to Thursday, no water, no anything, like no fluids and no heartbeat. So really happy that he had his headphones because that was brutal. But definitely makes me not trust doctors very much anymore. Like at all.
Sarah, I'm so sorry. And thank you for sharing that. So I want to pick apart a few things.
Okay.
One of the things is you understanding your body, right? And feeling like, hey, this doesn't feel like my last pregnancy, all of those things. When you think about the interaction that you had with your medical team at that time, what are some things that, you maybe next time around are going to change?
I would definitely move forward with second opinions.
Yes.
I had to switch OBs because my original OB only started delivering at Lakewood. I'm high risk because of my condition. And I want to NICU. You never know. So I switched to a new OB and just didn't get like the warm and fuzzy feelings, whether it's your first kid, your 7th kid, like that doctor is such a big part of your life. Like you're going to deliver your baby with this doctor. So to me, I feel like there needed to be some sort of a relationship. And there just wasn't. And I felt extremely, and this is on me, rushed into picking this OB. Like a little bit of a backtrack. When we got the positive pregnancy test, my levels were like triple the normal amount of HCG. So I thought with IUI, possibly like multiples.
Right.
And I'm saying like it kept tripling and tripling and tripling. So, and everybody was like, that just means a healthy baby. There's only one in there. There's only one in there. So I was like, okay, but still like a little uncomfortable with like, because with Nino, my numbers were high, but not like that. So I felt like I needed to get into a doctor who could care for me and see me and like kind of explain. So I stuck with her. She's the only one who could get me in the fastest. And it was just never like, just warm in there. It was extremely rushed. She would like pat me and be like, you're good. High numbers are good. And never like an explanation. She never looked at my fertility paperwork. She never looked into my previous high risk doctor's paperwork when I was pregnant with Nino. And we asked her every appointment, hey, did you get this yet? Did you get this yet? And it's in the back somewhere, I'm sure. When they mail it to us, it just gets put in a file box. And I'm like, that's concerning because A, B, C, and D could go wrong with my condition. Never took a second to look. So I would definitely now, if I could go back, just get a second opinion. Whether or not that would have changed anything with Nikki is never going to be known, but just for peace of mind for myself, you know, and just find somebody that like you actually vibe with, because that makes or breaks to me a pregnancy. You know, I loved my first office like so much. And then to switch here, I was like, I just wanted to be done with the whole doctor part of it. But again, that could have just been the pregnancy. But I would definitely recommend second opinions. If you ever have the slightest feeling, there's no amount of time going to doctors, money paying for it, that will make you feel at peace just in case anything goes wrong, you know? That's my biggest thing, I would say. I regret not doing.
Sarah, I think that's like I mean, literally, let's say it again, because I think too, there is this idea of like, oh, well, you're the expert, so I should trust you to like
Never
lead me.
again.
And you know, when you're in that moment, we do feel like justifying stuff like, oh, maybe I am being too sensitive. Oh, maybe I am, you know, whatever. And so I think that is just like a really important thing to drive home, that like if you're uneasy in any way, there's always the option to have a second opinion and to kind of like move through the medical system.
Yeah. That Wednesday was supposed to be my high risk appointment, and my doctor had canceled it too. And that's something, because the day after is when he passed, you know? And I always sit back and I'm like, why didn't I just say, no, I still want to go? Because I left that appointment again with no answers, and I should have just gone Wednesday. But she was like, I actually want you to go when you're 21 weeks, not when you're 18 weeks. So I was like, okay, you know, and I listened, and every day I'm like, I wish I would have just, and again, I don't even know if it would have made,
totally,
you know, 24 hours of a difference.
Yes.
But I would definitely just if you have a feeling, go anywhere. Cause it's, you know, it's a big deal to have a baby, and, you know, so that's my biggest thing that I wish I would have done.
Okay. So so when you go in after you feel like the fluid has passed, what did the doctor tell you in that moment?
So it wasn't my doctor, it was her PA, because she was out that day.
Okay.
And I had seen her once before when I really had started bleeding, and she made a face like, this isn't normal. And I remember her making that face, and then the doctor coming in and say, you still have the heartbeat, you know? So it happened to be that same PA. And she was like, all right, honey, he's giving you a hard time. Let's check. And she couldn't on the Doppler. And I was like, oh, I know it. I knew right then and there. And she was like, I'm having a hard time. He's probably stubborn, or maybe the clot is, you know, blocking him. Let me get the machine. She gets the machine. She can't. I look over at Natalie. I'm like, get him out, to my son. I'm like, take him out. He's not. And Natalie was like, what the do you mean? You know?
Yeah.
And then she said, I have to get another doctor to come in and confirm. It's our policy. 2 doctors need to. And she came in and she did it. And they both just put their hand on me, and they were like, I'm so, so sorry.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, I'm so sorry.
So then I got told to go to the emergency room. And I was a little bit confused on this. I don't know if other people know a little bit more, but My sister-in-law came and picked up my son, and that was hard enough because I've never been without him ever. Like, yeah. So I checked into the emergency room, labor and delivery. I was under the impression, how far along I was, that I would be put to sleep. That was not the case.
Oh, man.
At all. So I had to deliver him, and he was beautiful. I will say that. And that was pretty like brutal for sure. We did like epidural, like the whole thing, but it's just like a different, like you don't get the excitement and like, you know, so emotionally a lot. And they luckily at the time, at least I thought, gave me like pain medicine and stuff. And it was way too much medicine. So my blood pressure plummeted. They completely flatlined. They had to do like the smelling salts and all this, I guess, because I had told them the whole time I was delivering, like, hey, my hands are really numb.
Yeah.
Like my hands are really, really numb. And they were like, well, it's because you're holding on to your wife, like while delivering. And I'm like, no, I'm not squeezing her hard. And Natalie had said, like, she's really not, she's holding my hand, you know? And I just kept saying, I'm not really feeling great. I'm not feeling great. I deliver. And I was like, my placenta was stuck. I don't know how much you want to put on of this, but
okay. Let's go for it.
So I was like, hey, I'm not feeling good. You know, they used a tool. It's an 18-inch metal tool to try scraping out the placenta. And I have two nurses with their full body weight pushing on my abdomen to get the placenta out while she's doing this. I mean, my whole body is like jerking for how hard they're going. And I'm like, hey, I really don't feel good. I need a break. And she was like, all right, let's give her a break. During that break, I had discussed with them, like, I wanted to hold him. That was not the time, but they handed him to me. I think like emotionally, the medicine, the pain, everything completely flatlined. They were like doing sternum rubs, everything. And I mean, I black out. I don't remember any of it. And then next thing you know, I'm being woken up because they called it at 22 minutes of using that tool. They're like, this is too long now. Like, we're calling it. And then I got rushed to surgery to remove it. And it was a lot of medicines. Like emotionally, you're already extremely sad. And then to come back into the room, I didn't get to say goodbye. So they have like a policy, like I need to be able to say goodbye to my son. They put him in like a bucket of water, a sterile fluid. And that's how they had to preserve him. So for hours, because epidural numbed down, just got out of emergency surgery. Like pretty much they overdosed me on medicine, you know, completely out of it. But like in between waking up to look at my like end table and see him there, I was like, this is so brutal, you know? So there's a lot like mentally, physically, a lot that went on, you know? And then mentally, I'm like, you guys don't make it easy, you know? You have me on labor and delivery I'm hearing all the other babies. I'm hearing like that beautiful song they play when somebody delivers. And I'm sitting here like looking at my son, like sitting on the table, you know? So again, I think that this comes back to that particular office. I do think they could have handled a lot of things differently and explained to me, because I was not given a choice on anything that I wanted done to me. I was pretty much told, like, you have to. I was given a stack of paperwork this big to sign, stating that, like, you're technically, this is an abortion past 6 weeks. And I was like, no, this isn't an abortion. Like, you know, my son is not alive. And I still had to sign all of that. And, you know, there's like emotions, there's everything at play. And then they give you all of this paperwork and it's like, this isn't fair, you know? And they didn't give me a choice on how I wanted to be treated. The aftermath, like just the whole thing was insane.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, I am so sorry. That is absolutely devastating. I cannot imagine going through something like that. You're already sad. And then you have this insane medical thing. Also, I don't understand why they didn't put you under in the first place. What have you ever followed up and asked them or like?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I had a follow-up that I forced to happen because my doctor said, I don't want you to come into a waiting room full of pregnant women. And I'm like, well, you performed a DNC and like, I don't know, is there something left in me? Like, all of these things. So I had to say I wanted to come and see her, which I did not want to see her. And she apologized, said she had a surgery that day, so she couldn't be there, whatever the case is. When I told her, she was like, oh, this happens. I'm so sorry. And when Natalie and I were in the room, we were like, hey, like this tool, 18-inch metal rod for 20, and she was like, oh, that's not supposed to be used unless you're in an OR. I don't know why that was used. And I'm like, right. And for that long, like, why wouldn't I have just gone into surgery? You know what I mean? And they explained like, at that particular, how far along I was, like in the second trimester, they don't recommend doing that. But like I've learned a lot of people have gone through this like I never knew how many women go through this. Everybody I've spoken to around the same time has been put to sleep. Either is not one, maybe I've heard of one person who chose to, but everybody else has been put to sleep and they wake up and, I'm sure just as traumatic, you lost your baby, but I think that there could have been some things that physically, like I was in pain for weeks after you go through a postpartum dip. This postpartum was clearly a lot different.
Obviously. Yeah.
And still like hormonally, like I'm 4 months post right now. My hormones are out of whack, I would assume. Like, I don't cry and I'm crying to you.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay. I like literally, Sarah, I'm so sorry. That is an absolutely horrific story. I think it's really important that you're putting words to it. And I feel really privileged that you're sharing it here because I think it's really important for people to be aware. I think when we go into, this stage of our lives that we're seeking out pregnancies, the risk is wild at
really
all times, but we are so unaware. So again, just like I want to say like thank you for your courage and your honesty and your vulnerability because
thank you for giving me a platform to share. Like I want other parents and like this isn't just for moms, dads, anybody in this situation. Like it is such an unspoken thing. It's like taboo to people. And like, I don't know why we're ashamed of something that is like unpreventable, some people go through it and, some people are lucky enough to not. And this happening, I cannot believe the amount of people who have said like, oh yeah, this happened to so-and-so, this happened to me, and I'm like, how did I not know this about so many people? And why are you holding this in? Like this is such a heartbreaking thing, like that other people clearly need to talk to. The second they found out, it was like, I went through this at 15 weeks. I had this happen at 10 weeks. And I'm like, why are you guys not sharing this with one another and like helping the community? Like if somebody that I knew went through this, I would want to be there and be like, hey, I don't want to tell my story. I want to hear yours. I want to take in and get it off your chest and like say it, yell, scream, be upset, be sad. Cause it's brutal. It's a hard thing to go through.
So you're 4 months postpartum. Tell me how your whole family has gone through kind of this moment.
So Natalie and I are very type A, both of us. And the second we found out we were pregnant, I mean, we went crazy. Our nursery is complete. Everything is done. Natalie and Nino are painting walls, Nino is very much so spoiled with two mommies. So the thought of sharing that and being two, hasn't been his favorite thing. So like I would tell him all the time, like, you're going to have a brother, Nicky. No, just my doggy, he tells me. And I'm like, no, you're going to have a brother. So get used to it, So to make that fun for him, we let him be extremely involved. Like, hey, we're going to paint the wall. Do you want to like come in? And we let him paint it. Hey, we're going to build the crib. Do you want to come get your tools from your tool bench? And he would come in and every day, like all of his like hand-me-down clothes and stuff, because we saved everything. this was Nino's, now it's Nikki's. Yeah. So
Mm.
he's a baby who doesn't fully understand the concept. But he also has us, who literally has never really been like heartbroken before.
Yeah.
Like we pride ourselves on being very happy people,
Mhm.
like to a point where like I have students of mine who, like, I have text messages from their parents. Hey, have
Mm.
you seen my teacher, Miss Sarah? She's always smiling. She's the one, she has blonde hair, always happy. So like I have these text
Mhm.
messages that I save, and I'm like, I love seeing that. And like,
Yeah.
if there's one thing I could teach, it's like be happy.
Yeah.
So our son has never known us to not be. So
Yeah.
I think that's how he was affected, and still is. Like there's hard moments still, but
Mhm.
he definitely does not know how to handle us sad. So there was days where like I wouldn't come out of bed,
Yeah.
and he would get angry. Come on, mommy,
Mhm.
let's go, mommy. And I would just be like,
Mhm.
okay, mommy's coming in a few minutes. And I remember saying like, oh, this isn't healthy for him, and I
Mhm.
can't do this to him. And that was like my wake up call, like, let's go, come on. So the next
Mhm.
morning I get up and I walk out, and he goes, oh, I'm so proud of you. And that moment on, I was like, oh, I'm done. Like I can't let this win, you know?
Ugh.
So that's kind of when Natalie and I had like a discussion, and we were like, how can we turn this into something that is bigger than us just sitting in bed, or, us sitting crying for hours? Not that we don't still do that.
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, I'm definitely
Obviously.
not
Yeah.
downplaying that, but
Right.
it's really real for sure at times. And 4 months to me feels like yesterday.
Mhm.
But if she always says like there's two wolves, and you could feed the bad wolf and let that wolf win, or you could feed the good wolf. And
Mhm.
so we're every day, like anytime I'm in a sad moment, she's like, just feed the good wolf. Like
Mhm.
just feed it and let this win, and let this take over, and feel what you need to feel, but don't let it win, you know?
Right. Right.
So that's our biggest thing. And 4 months out of it, I do think we're doing good, but there's definitely moments where like we, like family, friends, they're like, you guys are doing excellent, but I still see a part of you that is not there. And I'm like, yeah, you can put a mask on all day,
Yeah.
but people who know you and know your heart, like there's
Mhm.
a part of us that's never going to be the same.
Right. Yeah.
So I think that that's like our biggest thing with the Nick of Time too. Delivering food and helping in that way isn't all we want to do. Like we put a
Mhm.
QR code. I put my personal cell phone on there, and I'm
Mhm.
like, hey, it's not easy. So
Mhm.
don't ever feel like you need to downplay what you just went through, whether it's a miscarriage, a stillbirth, like
Mhm.
loss is loss. And I'm a big person of that.
Yes.
Talk to somebody, like you don't
Mhm.
need to go to therapy, but you can find a friend or a family member or just a stranger if that's like what you need. Like my number is here,
Mhm.
and I will try my best to help you. I'm not sure I'm the best help, but I will try my best. So that's kind of been our 4 month journey, is just feeding the good wolf, I guess, and
Mhm.
trying for Nino to be like better, because he
Yeah.
doesn't deserve to be sad parents. So
Yeah.
it's a struggle, but we're here. So
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I think what's interesting and what I have been learning for me is like it's okay for the kiddos to see a range of emotions. And
mhm.
sometimes I think like that can be helpful. So, you know, I hope that's
Yeah,
like peace of
like
mind for you.
show it to him. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I like that because he does need to know. I don't ever want to make him somebody who thinks he can't cry, but I
Right.
definitely don't want him to be like, my parents are depressed.
Right.
you know?
Of course. Yes,
So it's
exactly.
it's a it's a hard balance.
A very
It's a
hard so tell us about the nick of time.
So Nick of Time, it's nonprofit, no cost to the families at all. And the whole reasoning behind it, obviously, is we wanted to honor Nicky and keep his name very much so alive. But when we lost him, like I had mentioned before, my wife comes from a big Italian family.
Mhm.
So there's always an abundance of food around and things like that. And the very last thing I was thinking about was making meals or coming
Mm.
up with a dinner plan. So, I mean, we live in an amazing neighborhood, you know this. We had
Yeah.
neighbors dropping off orange juice and breakfast. I had clients sending DoorDash. I had employees sending us stuff, obviously family, like doing all these things. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize like my son had a bowl of Cheerios. Like he needs to have like a real breakfast, like whatever the case was, it just wasn't in my head. And I don't think that it should be, but I do think that a community is extremely important in times like this. And it really showed us like, oh, I didn't even realize how badly we needed groceries or a dinner that I didn't have to plan. So we decided Natalie makes the best lasagna in the world. So easy, simple, click the QR code or just go to the website. All you have to do is put in the person's address and a phone number for updates. And we will same day deliver a lasagna, salad, some desserts, and like a little gift with a letter. And that should feed enough people, because even if it's just the two of you, we had a lot of family coming over. So or people who put out things like when people come. So, I mean, it's a huge tray, and that should be able to feed if your parents come over, if your cousin comes to you. Because it's not just you guys going through this loss. Grandparents losing their grandchild is brutal,
Of course, yeah.
So the whole gist is to not have to think about it and let us take this on for you. And it's not a one-time cutoff. Like if you're struggling 3 weeks from now, just message us and we'll be there in the nick of time.
Oh my gosh. What a beautiful thing to come out of this experience. And what a need. I mean, I think we underestimate how like food can feel so good as a gift to people.
Yep.
It's like that nourishment that you're just like, oh my gosh, please take care of me. That's like one of the like most primal things of being taken care of is like
Just
giving
comfort,
food.
it's like a warm hug.
Exactly. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then, okay. So with the nick of time, um, it's just local, right? Or will
So
you
right
ship?
now, yes, just Sarasota, Manatee County.
Okay, got it. Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So
Okay,
we'll go out to Parrish, Palmetto, all the way down to South Sarasota. That's not a problem at all. But it's just the two of us, and hopefully it doesn't get too big, but we would definitely, we have some neighbors and family members who are like, hey, how can I volunteer? And I'm like, if it gets to a point where we have multiple orders, like I would love if somebody could deliver.
totally.
But I mean, I'm really hopeful it doesn't, but we just partnered with Kind Mind Associates in Parrish, and they're a office where they offer like therapy, they offer postpartum care, things like this. So, that might get in more people. We're definitely going to Sarasota Memorial, Lakewood Ranch, the Women's Center, dropping off brochures and stuff, just so that they know it's there. Like, again, hopefully it doesn't get used, but I would rather have unused brochures than somebody feel like they're alone during the worst time. So I'm really hoping that people know that it's not unknown that this happens. And even if you don't want a meal, you just need somebody to chat with. Like, I'm hoping to partner with other, like maybe therapy groups and things like that, if that's what people need.
Wow. I love that. I think it's such a need. I think it is such a need. Thank you for putting something like this together.
It is like extremely important to us. So if anybody wants to like the page, that would be great. And, just keep it in the back of your head just in case, because you never know if a family member or a friend may go through this. And you can order for friends too. They may not want to. I wouldn't click on, if this was me in this time, I wouldn't have gone on to order, but I know for a fact that like my sister-in-law would have clicked on for me and done it. So it's not necessarily that it's just for you. If you're out of your I'm having babies stage, remember that for, your kids, your nieces and nephews, if they're in that stage. It's very user friendly. So everybody can do it, and it's very quick. I get it right to my phone, and I'll be open communication with the whole process too.
I love it. Okay. So you're 4 months postpartum. Do you guys have plans to try again?
It's a conversation. It's just, I don't know.
Really?
I think that I'm in such a trying to heal state right now
Yeah.
that if something went negative, I don't know that I could handle it. But in the same respect, it's definitely like if we didn't want multiple children. So that's kind of like a hard pill to swallow. Like, is that chapter over for us? But our biggest thing right now is trying to get better, and then hopefully we can revisit. It just is a little bit harder for us, obviously, because you have to plan, So everybody I talk to, they're like, well, you don't mark it off, I just happen to. And I'm like, that's great for you, but I can't just, get pregnant. It's a lot of planning and a lot of heartache to go and have to see doctors and explain the story over, So right now we're definitely just on a focus on our mental health and focus on Nino and keep Nikki like in our memory. And, we'll see. I still have some time, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I think whatever you guys decide will be the right choice for you and your family. So I think there's no pressure to like have final decisions ever.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So I feel like I should have asked you this in the beginning, Sarah, but what do you guys do?
So Natalie's parents started preschools 18 years ago.
What?
Yeah. So it's family owned, operated. Her parents are out of the building, obviously. But Natalie's one of 4 girls. So it's all family owned. So it's my 3 sister-in-laws, one of my brother-in-laws, myself, Natalie. And even my niece is working there part-time in the summer. So
what is it called?
Smarty Pants Preschool.
Okay, cute. Amazing. That's so cool.
So I'm teaching the 4-year-olds. I took a little bit of a break teaching and just did like admin work and stuff. But I miss it. It's so fun. It's so much more fun than admin. So I'm going back to the school year for the VPK hours, and then I'll go out front and do like admin things after, but get some of the fun stuff in there at least.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, I didn't realize that, and that's amazing. I have heard of them, but I haven't checked them out.
So we have one on State Road 64. We have one in West Bradenton off of 43rd Street, and then the one campus that we're at is brand new on Fruitville.
Right. Okay.
And then we just broke ground on a parish school too.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
Weather permitting. Yeah. Big stuff going on.
Yeah, of course. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. So with your son and with the memory of Nikki, how does working with kiddos kind of line up for you? Is it challenging? Is it healing? Like what is that?
So I always thought it would be a lot harder going back. I obviously took time off of work and then kind of like have been easing back in. And I love children. I just do. I love pregnant women, I don't hold that against people. I get a lot of like parents who come in who have like the same due date as me, and they like won't make eye contact. And I'm like, hey, how are you feeling? Like, I'm not angry with you, like, it's a blessing, continue and, be happy, but don't treat me like, the kids are the best. I mean, I believe that kids make your heart grow and keep your soul young. So that wasn't hard for me to get back. As soon as I saw them, they're like a good distraction. They keep you busy and laughing, and nobody makes me laugh more than kids. So I think that's kind of what pushed me towards wanting to get back into my classroom. I think that it's just good for your soul. I love kids. I love babies. So I don't think that would ever change, as traumatic as the loss was. My son, who's actually here though, he certainly makes it difficult because he does not want me to be around any other child. So I have to like sneak into my classroom and drop him to his room, and I don't he's around like
right. You like duck under the window.
Yeah. Like, Miss Sarah. I'm like, shh.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. Sarah. Okay, I had no idea. That's very cool. So for you and kind of with the nick of time and with you think about, 3 years from now, 4 years from now, what do you hope that either the nick of time can be like and or what your kind of path is?
Only positive, obviously. That's everybody's hope starting everything.
Mhm.
But I genuinely hope that this reaches people who I didn't think were reachable. I hope that this expands in a way, not necessarily with me, but I hope that people in other states see the concept of it and they start something similar.
Mhm.
I also hope that the story, and not just mine, but like other people's story, reaches medical staff and they hear how traumatic this is. I think that a lot of people get numb to things, especially when it's your profession, and that benefits people a lot of the time. But there are times where you do need that very nurturing, caring, So I had a lot of great Sarasota Memorial, their nursing staff, amazing, very
Mhm.
caring and loving. But I'm hoping Nick of Time reaches to let everybody know that this trauma is real and it needs to be spoken about a little bit more. This comes into a lot of things with women's health, but
Yeah.
there's definitely like steps that as a community we should all be taking to help people in this, and also help like grieving dads. Like they don't get enough credit,
Oh.
not in my case, I have my wife, but she's grieving hard, and she
Mhm.
feels like she doesn't have the right to grieve. She's like, you
Mhm.
carried him, you had that connection there. She always jokes, she's like, you carry them for the 10 months and I get them for the rest of their life.
Yeah,
She's like, I just feel so bad for you. And I'm like, no, you have the right to grieve.
absolutely.
And I'm hoping that this kind of opens people's eyes. And
Mhm.
it's not just a loss when the baby's been here or the child or the anybody has been on earth. There's a thought that's never going to be reached for a lot of people. The what ifs, what was his personality going to be? What was this going to be? So there's a lot of what ifs that everybody's going to grieve for the rest of their lives.
Mhm.
And I've talked to people in my family, even stillbirths 50 years ago. And when I started talking about it, they're like, oh, yeah, this happened. She's buried here. And I'm like, how is this not something we're talking about until it happens?
Oh my
you
goodness.
know?
Yeah.
And crying as hard as I'm crying 4 months, she's crying 50 years
Oh.
and telling me it's never going to go away. And I don't want it to go away. I want to feel him for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
But I'm like, maybe there's steps that we can do to help people in our community.
Mhm.
And not just our community. I hope this carries everywhere. Like, I hope the concept, even just the thought, if it's not a nonprofit that's open, like if you hear of your neighbor that has gone through this, go and drop something to them. It doesn't need to be anything extravagant. It doesn't need to be a gift. It needs to make them feel comfort, like you said. It
Mhm.
needs to help. And I think
Yeah,
that the world would be a lot better of a place if everybody would just be a little bit more kind and helpful and open to hearing other people.
I totally agree. Well, I do wanna ask some rando questions. These are just
Okay.
kind of like the little spurts, but, um, what kind of parenting myth do you wish would go away?
Oh boy.
I know.
Oh, it's so many different aspects because I have the school myths.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I bet.
Um, I wish that like it's hard. Social media is a big thing now.
Yeah.
Um, and I wish people would be a little bit more aware that it's not all social media. It's not all perfect. There are
Mhm.
very trying times.
Yes.
You have a 2.5-year-old, you said. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're very, very trying times. And what you may see on social media or whatever's projected in public isn't always the case. And it's okay to feel a little defeated by a tiny human because we all have been there.
Yeah, exactly. I think
he,
that's
he
very
he
true.
wins a lot in our house.
Yeah.
So
Oh, man. Okay. I think that's so true. I do have to tell you that actually whole experience is literally what, like, made me wanna do this podcast is because
oh, really?
yes, I was, like, deep in postpartum and really not in a good place. And so I was like looking for answers and like support. And all I got from social media was images of perfection and then experts telling you how wrong you're doing everything.
Right. Yep. Every time I get on TikTok, anything like that, it is just like these perfect, which I kudos to you. If this is your real life, you go, girl.
Mm-hmm.
You got it going. But there's like, it's just not realistic. It's hard. I have a very, very involved spouse. So I feel for the people who don't have that. She is literally like the yin to my yang. And there are times where we look at each other and we're like, all we do is clean. All we do is prep. All we do is this. And it's like, how do other people do it? And then, we kind of are like, there's no way. Like, it's just not possible. And it takes a village to raise kids, And I mean, I don't think anybody has a more involved partner like I do. So, I mean, our village is massive. We have huge families and you definitely lean on them. Even when you think you don't need to, you have to be able to lean on family and friends and, preschools. Like if that's what people do, like, we tell the parents all the time, like, we're in your corner.
We're part of your village. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like use us, let us help. Like, even if you want to drop them for 2 hours and go have a cup of coffee and like, think about yourself for 5 minutes, like do it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yes, I love that. And I think that just more honesty out there is good. And I think what's been interesting is when what I have realized is when you're honest, I think it really triggers people. So like we'll have an honest conversation and then all of a sudden we're like, but like I'm fine, or like I still love it. Like I'm very annoyed. Here's this like horrible, moment I'm going through, but I'm thankful. And it's like
Right.
you can have those feelings at one time and it's okay to not have to preface that. You don't have to preface that. You can just truly speak what is actually going on.
Yes. My wife is famous for saying this to people. My cousin passed away a few years ago from colon cancer, and she fought like crazy, and everybody was like, when somebody, especially somebody young, like she's my age, when somebody is going through this, everybody's like, you're so strong. You got this, God's got a plan. You have this. And we would FaceTime like daily almost. And she was just saying like, I'm just like having a hard time. Every time I talk to my mom, she's building me up, building me up, building me up. And it's like, just listen to me complain. And like, but I am really grateful, just like you're saying. And Natalie comes into the camera and she's like, hey, you need to stop for 5 seconds and say, this sucks. This is not how I saw my life at 24 years old. I'm supposed to be graduating grad school. I'm supposed to be doing this. And nobody should guilt you for saying your life is awful right now,
Right.
And she's even carried that over into this. Like, I'm very good at talking about how positive I can be through Nikki's loss and all of these things. But Natalie's like, no, Sarah, like say you're sad, you're heartbroken, and just say that. You don't need to say, but I'm grateful I have Nino. And, I'm happy that I have my beautiful home and I'm happy that I have a great job. Like you don't always have to find the glass half full. Like it's okay to sometimes say like things are hard.
Yeah.
So she's famous for always saying that too.
Oh my gosh. What a good like little reminder. And that's wonderful. Okay. If you could sum up parenting in one word, what would it be and why?
Amazing.
I love it.
He drives me crazy, but my mother-in-law has always said like, do you even remember life before him? And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Gosh. And, everybody, when we were in the trying times, they would say like, are you like trying to conceive? Are you sure you want to do this? Look at your life. You guys are doing everything. You can do whatever you want. You can travel, you can do this. But like our heart was just like putting us this way. And even now, like we don't want to go on vacation without him. Like I'm sure that's going to change. Like no shame to anybody who does that, but like he is just like the best thing we have ever done. So amazing is like an understatement. I love every second of it, even the hardest parts. It's the best.
That's beautiful. I love it. Okay. And then Sarah, where in your life are you crushing it right now? Where can we celebrate with you?
Ooh, that's a tough one right now with everything.
Oh, I know.
I think that I would say I'm crushing it at trying. And that is the very best right now that I can do is just continue to try. We're trying very hard with our faith. We always have been very religious, but we love our church, and that has given us like the best. So the whole message is just keep going, and this isn't the end all be all. So keep going until you get there. And I'm trying my hardest. So that's where I think I'm crushing it, is trying.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I mean, that is hard in and of itself. So I think putting words to that is thank you. Agreed. And good job.
Thank you.
Good job for trying.
It's effort.
Totally. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, Sarah, I think that's kind of everything.
Thank you so much for giving me this little safe space. This was amazing. So I appreciate it.
Of course. Have a good rest of your day.
Thanks for listening to It's a Circus. If today's episode made you feel a little less alone, share it with a friend who might need it too. We are building something amazing at the Turner Brothers Circus, an entire space designed for parents to find connection, laughter, and support. I'd love for you to be a part of it. Remember, you're doing better than you think. Stay grounded, stay real, and embrace that beautiful mess. And as always, the show must go on. Until next time.